Hello, guys. So waiting for this Arsenal game to kick off in about 15 minutes, and I woke up early to watch the Chelsea game with Crystal Palace, and I've been watching a lot of other games as well of the Premier League because we've all missed the Premier League, and now that it's back, it's really good to be able to enjoy football that means something. People can maybe stop talking so much only about transfer windows or transfers. Um, but yeah, liked what I saw from both teams. If I'm being honest, Enzo Maresca's game model seems to exhibit a lot of Guardiola like traits. Very slow, methodical. As an Arsenal fan, full disclaimer, I see the similar things when I watch my team a lot, and it's not always a fun watch. Um, but a couple of things that I liked from watching Chelsea today was when I looked at their depth of their squad. Man, they, they, they brought in this 18-year-old Esteval kid who immediately, to me, I mean, Chelsea fans can say, if I'm full of crap or not, but to me, he looks like Chelsea's next best attacking weapon after Cole Palmer. I've watched him. I watched him a little bit, in a game here or there, but I don't know the player. So the best I've seen was today's game, basically his Premier League debut. He didn't like obviously make the goal or but he gave his left back the business every time. They needed to double up on him. The kid is only 18, and he is at a big club like Chelsea in the Premier League, and yeah, he's going to be a handful for a lot of clubs to deal with, especially if he doesn't play from the start all the time. Like, because the Kittens kid looked okay, but I was more impressed by Esteval of the Premier League debutants in their attacking positions. Um, Delap came on, did what he needed to do. He was himself, threw himself about. But by that point, Chelsea was probably looking a bit better, like more likely to score the goal because Chelsea had you know, a deeper bench. Palace had only made two substitutions, and they looked weaker for them, if I'm being honest. And the main thing I'm worried about here is not Chelsea. Chelsea will be fine. Chelsea looked great. Chelsea have a squad of like Jarrell Hato didn't even play. He was on the bench. They had Gusto coming off the bench to replace Reece James. They had Cucurella, um, Achiampong, and what's his name, Chaloba, and Reece as a back four to start with. But they had options to replace, especially in the fullback positions, that were just as good and maybe even better than the players who had started. On any given day, they could be the better option. And then Andre Santos came on to replace Enzo Fernandez. But my worry for Crystal Palace, though, like which is one of the things I kind of talked about in my title for this live stream, is that Palace had a really good season last year. Finished 12th. They could have probably done a bit better, but for the squad that they have, the squad size that they have, 12th wasn't bad with an FA Cup run that finished in a winning the whole thing, and then last weekend beating Liverpool to the Community Shield. So Crystal Palace have a really good coach in Oliver Glasner. I still remember like what they looked like when I mean Pedro Vieira is a favorite of mine as a player, but between him and Roy Hodgson, Crystal Palace were basically running on a treadmill, and they had some good players, but like they didn't seem like they could really punch properly against some of the better teams in the league, in the division. And with Glasner, like they have a good tactician who can counterpunch against the better teams. teams that are better than Palace. They have a player in Eze who looks out of the door. Fair play to him. He played today and played well. But they're likely to lose their two biggest influential players after losing Olise last summer. They're likely to lose Eze and Gehi with not too much of the window left. Likely to lose both of those guys. How do you communicate to Glasner and try to convince him to stay? I feel like he might. I don't. I hope I'm wrong, but I worry that like Steve Parish and the board at Crystal Palace may lose a really good manager. And I like their team. I like their squad that they had, but to lose Gehi and Eze before the window closes would really, really be disastrous for them. Like, so they need to back this man. They really need to back this man, because if you don't, really, like, I don't know what it is you're gonna do this season, especially with the addition of European football to their calendar this year. They'll be playing European football, and then they are likely to lose Gehi and Eze with just under 2 weeks remaining. I'm not a Crystal Palace fan, but like after watching them in this Chelsea game and watching them a lot in the last season, they are a good team. And economically, I don't think they should be in much of any trouble because they haven't spent too much money, but they made money in the sale of Olise. They're likely to get money from selling Eze. But like it would be disastrous to lose those two guys and not be able to replace them. It's going to be hard to replace Eze, whoever you buy. But Palace really, really have to move and support their manager, because like he is, yeah. I just think you have to do what you can to back this man, and also to convince the players that you have that they have your backing, because the squad doesn't look good in terms of after the first 11, and that 11 today included both Gay and Eze. So I hope, yeah, man, I hope Palace do something and they figure this out, because it's not going to be pretty.